Hi, Andy.
Hi, Susan. What's up?
Nothing much. Just taking a stroll and enjoying this beautiful weather. What's up with you?
It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Me? I'm about to take the U.S. citizen test, so I'm brushing up on my knowledge of the American government and miscellaneous information.
That's right. Your English is so good that sometimes I forget you're not from here.
It's a good thing we use English in Canada, too.
It's good for me too because I don't have to learn a new language when I visit my cousin there. Is the test long?
There are 100 questions,
Holy cow!
but they only ask 10 questions randomly from that list of 100 questions, and I only need to get 6 correct to pass.
Oh, that's not too bad. Do you want me to help with your study?
That'd be great if you have time. It'd make things a little less boring. Okay, so these 100 questions come from this website.
Wow. I was born here and I don't know the answers to some of these questions.
Yeah, some of them can be pretty dry and boring, but most of them are pretty interesting.
Okay, then let's start with the interesting ones. Name one state that borders Canada.
There are actually 13 states that border Canada. Starting from the east, we have Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Washington, and Alaska.
They only need one, but that's impressive. Okay, let's go a little more south. Name one state that borders Mexico.
There are 4 states that border Mexico. Starting from the east again, we have Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California.
Hey, here's one that I know. What is the capital of the United States?
Washington, D.C. The interesting fact about this is that it's not a state. It's a city in the District of Columbia, and this is a federal district that doesn't belong to any state.
I did know about that. Do you know where the Statue of Liberty is?
This is actually a tricky one. Many people think that it's in Washington, D.C., but it's actually on Liberty Island at the border of New Jersey and New York.
What ocean is on the east coast of the U.S.?
It's the Atlantic Ocean.
How about the west coast?
It's the Pacific Ocean.
Name one of the two longest rivers in the U.S.
At 2,341 miles, or 3,767 kilometers, the Missouri River is the longest river in the U.S. Coming in second by just a hair is the Mississippi River at 2,320 miles, or 3,730 kilometers.
I'll just take your word for it about how long they are. Your phone lists the answers, but not the actual length.
I don't know why I remember those useless facts. It's not like I'm preparing for Jeopardy.
You could. That's certainly an interesting way to make money. Okay. The last geography question is this. Name one U.S. territory.
Starting from the east again, we have U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, American Samoa, Northern Mariana Islands, and Guam. Those are the inhabited territories. We also have a bunch of uninhabited ones in the Pacific Ocean.
I know about those inhabited territories, but I've forgotten about the others. It's a good thing you only need to name one. Okay, do you know why the flag has 13 stripes?
Because there were 13 original colonies or states, and the stripes represent them.
There's a question that asks if you can name 3 original states, but I bet you can name all 13.
I can give it a shot. The original 13 states are all on the East Coast. In order of the dates they were founded, we have Virginia, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Georgia.
What about Maine? I thought Maine was one of the original ones.
Ah, that's an interesting one. Maine was part of Massachusetts at the beginning, but then the people living in Maine began to campaign for their own state, and so Maine became the 23rd state.
That is interesting. I didn't know that. Well, since we just mentioned the flag, do you know why it has 50 stars?
That's because the U.S. has 50 states, and each star represents a state.
This is not one of the questions, but I'm sure you can name all 50 states, right?
Do you want them in alphabetical order, or geographical order, or chronological order, or when they became states?
Yeah. Let's move on. Do you know the name of the national anthem?
That famous song is the Star Spangled Banner.
I want to hear it. Come on, Andy. Stand on this bench and imagine that you're in America's Got Talent.
Do you know that I did sing that song in front of 20,000 people?
Really? Please do tell.
I bought a raffle ticket at a charity event that raises money for orphans. One of the prizes was to sing the national anthem at the Capitals hockey game.
Wow. When was this? And how come I was not invited?
This was about 15 years ago, way before we became friends, or even knew each other. The Caps played my beloved Kings that night. It was awesome.
Andy, my dear friend, you still surprise me after all these years. Okay, moving on. Name 2 national U.S. holidays.
In chronological order, we have New Year's Day on January 1st, Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the third Monday in January. Then we have President's Day, which is George Washington's birthday, on the third Monday in February, Memorial Day on the last Monday in May. Independence Day is another fixed holiday like New Year's Day. It's always on July 4th. Labor Day is on the first Monday in September. Columbus Day is on the second Monday in October. Veterans Day is on November 11th. Thanksgiving Day is on the fourth Thursday in November. And lastly, we have Christmas Day on December 25th every year. The funny thing is, as soon as we moved to the US, my wife knew about all of these holidays because of the sales.
Of course. Why pay full retail prices when you can get it for less? Speaking of sales, Check out these shoes I've just bought yesterday. When you go to your interview, the interviewer will randomly choose 10 questions from a list of 100 questions. You will need to get at least 6 correct answers to pass that part of the interview. They will also test you on your English skills. You will need to correctly read aloud 1 out of 3 sentences. The sentences will use words in this list here. You will also need to correctly write out 1 of 3 sentences. The sentences will use words in this list here. In the lesson, some questions ask for 1 or 2 things, but Andy gave a lot more because he's a history buff. For your answers, you only need to give the right number of items that the interviewer asks for. If you are learning English as a second language, restart or pause the video as often as you need to practice your pronunciation. That's it for today. Please come back next Saturday to continue part 2 of the U.S. citizenship test questions. If you have any questions or ideas for future lessons, please comment down below.